get to send those out.
There you go.
But just a footnote, Lawrence and I get royalties on any proceeds from the. Okay, so first three sort of time sensitive items where we're asking for help. One is, and this isn't widely known yet, we just started announcing it. So you've got a new person joining, Joel. So iced green tea, is that an advertisement? Do we get royalties on that too?
That's one of those freebies from Ocean State Job Lot.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
stop with your commercials for Ocean State.
Okay.
Crazy deals. I love them.
Okay, so
Right.
back to,
No
since I have
more
a limited
interruptions.
time, three items we're asking for help to the Lawyers Committee. One is hot off the press. We're about to do a joint project with Richard Gage, and it hasn't been formally announced, but Richard is now on our board of directors, just FYI. And he will be working closely with us. We're going to do a multi-part documentary film series. It's going to focus on, the working title is 9/11 from the crime scene to the courtroom. And it's going to focus on evidence, starting probably with the demolition evidence, but we're going to go beyond that. And we're going to go to litigation plans that will build on the evidence, and then sort of how we're planning to proceed with an ongoing investigation to develop that evidence. We are contemplating, and we may be deciding tonight, so I can't tell you yet we've decided, we're contemplating a new lawsuit which will underlie this film series, and it will have to do with essentially federal court litigation to prove head on a government cover-up regarding 9/11. So this will be the first time we've taken on in a litigation the concept of cover-up. It's under a legal theory, which I'll explain later, is the constitutional theory. And it will have as one of its elements the actual allegation of and proof of a cover-up in order to essentially win the case. It probably would be brought on behalf of family members. That remains to be decided and announced. So I can't unpack that more at the moment. We haven't technically approved it yet. I'm suggesting it, and I'll let you know when we do approve it, if we do. Second thing is, Gene and Sandra had mentioned, we're looking for help in recruiting lawyers to work on our projects, including our FOIA, Freedom of Information campaign, our investigations, and our upcoming litigation. So we're going to draft some language. Gene has started that effort, and I'm going to edit it and get it to you as soon as I have time, probably this week. And we're looking for folks in the various communities, Boston is one of them, who may know lawyers, particularly public interest or plaintiffs' lawyers who might have a concern or an interest or might be open to hearing about this. And what we would like you to do is simply share the sort of the flyer that we approve. And please don't use our letterhead without our approval. I cautiously, tactfully caution Gene about that. You want to be careful about using our letterhead, but if we approve it, it's okay, but then one of us will probably sign it with you. And show it to your local attorneys, ask if they would join us in a Zoom call, which we'll give you a date and time for. And we hope to get several attorneys joining us at one time. So basically I can explain what the litigation and investigation options are for lawyers to get involved. And you could help us, expand the team by reaching out to your local lawyers who you may know have public interest perspectives. So that's the concept there that we're looking for help on. The third concept, if I can remember it. Oh, okay. So for the film project that I mentioned, it will have an investigative component. It isn't just talking about investigation already done. This film project is actually going to follow along with our ongoing investigation and our ongoing preparation of a lawsuit. So we hope to get you all, members of groups around the country, involved in participating in occasional meetings and maybe appearing with us on occasion in the video as actively being involved in an investigation work session as we develop the evidence. So you might want to think about who in your group or your area might be interested in participating in an ongoing investigation. You don't have to appear on camera, but we're probably going to let our editors decide, they're going to probably film the whole work sessions and then decide what parts to put in the video. So keep that in mind as a request for assistance to you all. And we'll get you more informed on that as it develops. So those three areas, maybe a fourth would be if you have ideas for a freedom of information request that's close to your heart, documents you've never seen that the government is holding that you really would like to get a hold of, you should feel comfortable sending that topic to us, and we may do a FOIA request for you, and we may litigate it for you if we have to. So if you have priority things that would help in your understanding of the issue, and you think the government is sort of improperly keeping them secret, send it on to us. We'll do what we can.
Terrific. Let me ask you something about collecting names of lawyers. I worked for a Boston law firm for 18 years, and I know one of the things we had to deal with, I was in accounting, so I wasn't
Okay.
really into the legal aspects, but marginally.
Right.
And one of the things we had to deal with was conflict of interest.
Right.
So, for example, if one of their clients is a corporate interest and they get another client that wants to sue that particular client,
Yeah, that's a no-no.
yeah, they can't take the case.
Right.
So that kind of eliminates a lot of the major law firms.
If they are involved with, and that depends on the lawsuit you're talking about. If we're talking about the new lawsuit, which would be suing the federal government, and I may not have made that clear, but it would be suing the federal government. A lot of these law firms don't sue the federal government, and they also don't represent the federal government because the U.S. attorney does that, or the DOJ does that. So it's entirely possible,
Okay.
particularly for public interest lawyers out there, that helping us on an action against the federal government would be fair game for them, even if they have sued the federal government, as long as it wasn't on the same issue. That actually makes them a better candidate to us. It's not a conflict of interest to have sued the same party before. It's representing the same party who's about to be sued that is the problem. So I suspect, particularly in the Boston area, you may have some folks who are free of conflicts. Whether they have the interest and the courage to get involved, is another question.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mick, you had mentioned that you had a list of what you thought might be lawyers or groups that would be approachable. I don't know if you have access and can give us names that you could we could pursue.
To a point. I can't do it tonight on the spur of the moment, but I do have Westlaw, and I can research Boston area attorneys who've done public interest lawsuits in various areas and share those names with you if you want to contact folks cold. We initially started this conversation with Jean and Sandra regarding attorneys you may have worked with before, or you may know who have done a public interest lawsuit in your area. That wouldn't be a totally cold call. But I'm okay with approaching folks cold if you know something about them, and I can send you a list of some attorneys who are candidates for that in any area, any geographic area you tell me. I'll need a few days notice, but we can do that. We haven't already developed a Boston lawyers list, for example, for recruiting, but we can do that.
Do you have talking points that you might provide us that would, so we could do cold calling?
We do, and that'll be part of the draft we send you out.
Okay.
To actually share with the lawyers. They'll get sort of a short version in the flyer, and then we'll give you a little more detailed, and we can even do a training if you want, if you get to the point where you're ready to contact a few.
Yeah. And
I can help manage any lists because I'm an Excel wizard.
Excel wizards are always helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Any other quick questions? I need to get off in maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
Who's doing the film? You mentioned the film. Is it who's the producer for it?
Well, I would like to say famous Hollywood people. Unfortunately, that is not the case at the moment. We'll see. We may throw it out there to some, but we have sort of in-house capability. I don't know if you all know Christina Borgeson.
Oh,
is
yes, good friend.
Well, she is our in-house capability. She is a public interest reporter, media critic, and film producer. She's worked with a number of the major networks. She did the documentary TWA Flight 800,
Right.
which she's sort of
Right.
known for. She
I
is
was
also
at her house when they were doing the crash scene.
okay. Well, in case you don't know, she has also joined our board of directors.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so she's with us, but she's going to help us at least initially in crafting the video, and we may or may not, recruit from Hollywood, but I have confidence in Christina, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, her TWA 800 video was excellent.
Have you thought about contacting Dylan Avery?
He is on our list, and it's not my decision, it's our board's decision, but we'll see who all we go to. He is on our radar screen.
Good, good. Well, I'd be looking forward to that list if you have it, as soon as you have it.
Yeah.
And your talking points. So I'd love to get started on it.
I appreciate that, Al.
So Mick, if I want to get in touch with you regarding the Freedom of Information stuff, how do I do that again? Okay,
let me give you my email. It's probably readily accessible on the web if you search for Lawyers Committee and Mick Harrison. But so it's my name. It's Mick Harrison, ESQ. That's MICK HARRISON ESQ as in Esquire at gmail.com. Should I repeat?
MICK HARRISON at Gmail.
Yep, that's it. Anytime, Lawrence, feel free to give me an email, any of you really.
Thank you.
Let me give you my phone number in case you get excited about something and just can't
wait.
I'm
always excited about that. I'm excited about talking with you right now. So I'll call you right after.
Don't raise your blood pressure.
Wait for a couple hours, please.
Okay.
But so it's 812-361-6220. So if you have ideas about recruiting lawyers or helping with our investigation or film thing, feel free to call or email, and we'll work through it. We're hoping to have a more active working relationship with groups around the country. I'm going to be developing that hopefully with folks like in Colorado and maybe in my home area, Bloomington, Indiana, maybe New York and maybe DC and of course Boston and San Diego maybe. We'll see who all wants to get involved, but we're going to try to marshal the troops here to do a more coordinated effort.
I had mentioned in the last meeting, Richard Kreshnick in our group has good contacts with nonprofit. He does a lot in Boston, and he may be, I'm going to give him your phone number just so you're familiar with his name if he calls in. He was going to reach out to the what is it, the ALS? I've forgotten.
ACLU?
Yeah, ACLU, right.
Right.
So, but he has a lot, he worked in government in Boston, so he's familiar with a lot of the players in there.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, that sounds like a good contact. So,
yeah.
Okay, so folks, I should drop off and get ready for my next video adventure.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was an honor. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mick.
I appreciate
really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yep.
You're welcome, folks. Take care. We'll be in touch.
Bye-bye.
There you have it.
Great.
Moving forward. Thank you for poking, Al.
Sorry?
Thank you for poking.
Oh, yeah. Did you get my email just before the meeting? It was came from Jean Laratunda. And the guy's name is Cole, who was part of fielding the response to the fire chiefs that had called in or written in. And there was a list in there. I don't know if you can share it on your screen, if you can bring it up.
Well, I'll try, but I have troubles with whenever I leave the Zoom to go to my email.
Right. Well, if you can't, you can't, but
Oh, I'm gonna stop recording now, okay?
Yeah.